Hey everyone, Rob Ratliff here with a little motivational thought for you. Lately, I've really been thinking about working with audiences, working with students. In fact, one of the things I want to do is I'm going to take my book, Driven to Succeed, to some of the high schools in the area. And I'm going to find out who would be the person who would bring me in to speak to a group of children in the area about success and what it means and the driven formula for success and what that's all about. So I'm really excited about that. I'm looking forward to that. And I want to share one of the stories that I have in that book, Driven to Succeed. And this took place many years ago in El Paso, Texas. And I was at that time traveling around with a company that did real estate training and coaching and classes to help people learn how to find real estate deals, broker those deals, where to get money from, and all those good kind of things. And so I happened to be in this airport getting ready to fly home. It was in El Paso, very, very small airport, very quaint. And I would say, just having it was so small that it was almost like you had to get to know the people around you because it was just so tiny. You have all these people in this, this small room waiting to. It's intimate comes to mind. It was so intimate, and you could hear what everyone was saying. But what really caught my attention were these high school kids on the floor there, and they're playing with a little fortune teller. It's that little paper that like this. I don't know if you've seen those. You know what I'm talking about, but. You would open it and you'd pick the number 2 and the color green, and that would mean that you're going to have 2 kids and be an accountant, something like that. Or maybe you pick the number 4 and the color red, and you're going to be a millionaire by the time you're 30 and have some really cool invention, something like that. And I remember watching these kids play this game, and it was so fun for me because I remember that age. I remember wondering, what does my future look like? What will it be for me 5 years from now, 10 years from now? But looking at it from an adult perspective, because I was 30 something at this time, and I'm watching these kids, and I just thought, that's such a silly game, because I know now in my 30s that really, we get to decide what our future is. I get to decide what my future is. If I'm going to be a doctor, if I want to be a doctor, then I go to school and become a doctor. If I want to be an accountant, I go to school and become an accountant. If I want to start businesses, that's what I like to do as an entrepreneur, then I'm going to just start new businesses, and I'm going to grow those businesses. And so it really is, it's your choice. And, I looked at those kids and I just thought, they've got this little fortune teller in their hands, kind of looking at their future, but do they really realize that the future truly is in their hands? They get to decide who it is that they want to be. And I wasn't going to say this part because I don't want this video to be too long, but I'm going to go ahead and go to it anyway just because I feel like it's applicable to some people out there right now. And that is, if you're ever in a situation where you're feeling down, depressed, unsure of the future, and you need some help, like you're trying to figure out what to do, where to move in life, here's what I would recommend. Pull out a paper. Start writing some goals. For me, for example, I might write down, I'm looking for 4 new clients to coach for marketing your business in the next 4 months, or next month, 4 weeks. And then, and I try to use what you call the SMART goals. And for those who don't know what that is, basically it's a way of writing goals in a way to make sure that you can achieve them. And the S stands for specific, the M stands for measurable, meaning that you can, can you quantify it? In this case, 4 clients, I can measure that. And then you have A as an achievable. I mean, if you make goals that aren't achievable, it's just, you can dream big, but you want to make the goals specific enough that you can achieve those goals in the time period that you put out for yourself. And then you want to make them relevant. So relevant to who you are, who you want to become. If you're writing goals on things that aren't really relevant to you or the business you're in, then now you're sidetracked. You're getting sidetracked. It's a different story. And then the last one is time bound. You have to put a time on. I'm going to reach this goal by this time. But what that does is it just gives you a sense of purpose and it gives you something to drive for and to strive for. And it's so important that you do that. So remember, The future is in your hands. You get to decide what your future is. And if you're unsure right now where you are in life, or you're feeling depressed, down, you're not exactly sure what to do next, sit down, start writing goals, make those goals specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. Put a date on it. Get out there, make it happen. And hey, if you're listening to this and you happen to have an audience that you think would love to hear some of my stories as I talk about how to be successful and how to be motivated and overcome depression and those kinds of things, then I would love to come speak to your audience. Okay, hopefully that helps. Rob Ratliff out.